Check 1, 2. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, type something. If you can't, let me know. Hey, what's up? Lots of familiar faces in chat. Welcome back, Neutromancer, Jason, Aquila, Zenther. I recognize all 4 of you. Awesome. Yeah, apologize for a little bit of a late start. 2 minutes late. I had to help out family with something. And I think I'm good to go for the stream. So we got 3 minutes to wait for other people to file in. Let me know how you've been, what you've been up to. If you're watching the VOD, feel free to skip ahead. The timer is on the screen. Neutromancer says, been watching some Blade Runner actual plays. Blade Runner actual? Isn't Blade... I don't know what Blade Runner is. Is that a movie? Isn't that a movie? Maybe I'm just so out of the loop. Things in general have been a little bit busy on this side of the screen. Me, myself, and die? Totally out of the loop. Blade Runner's 2 movies is also a computer game and now is also an RPG. Oh, sick! Hey, Selling Master. New RPG based on the films. Today I learned. That's so cool. I have not heard about that. There's so many, there's so many games coming out that are based on, media properties nowadays, which is really interesting to me. I don't know if anyone keeps track of this, but this is the 17th? The 17th game that we've covered. Which is crazy because we started at the top of the year. We're almost halfway there. And we're already almost to 20 games. Which means we're just about on track to hit 40 games in a year. Which means which means we could be done with this 99 more series in 2.5 years. Hey Cthulhu, how is it going? Hello Wintry, how life been? It's been busy. It's been very busy. A lot of family stuff with Mother's Day just recently. Taking care of family has been a bit of a handful, but otherwise doing very well. I hope you've been well too. They had a big Kickstarter and fulfilled it just a few months ago. Oh, congrats to them. It's really exciting. Okay, and with the timer down, it is time to jump into our coverage of the TTRPG Lost Below the Earth. Perfect. Great. Cool. Nice. Things are looking good and fresh and clean. I have this layout all perfectly set up. Okay, so this is Lost Below the Earth by Wheels RPG. I'm gonna go through a couple of their... Where's my stuff? I guess I'll just load it up again. Sure. Oh no, it's here. Okay, let me see if I can bounce through. Cool. Okay, great. Lost Below the Earth is a horror RPG. It goes into the ever-growing dread of going deeper and deeper underground. And that's just a typical summary. because I'm going to read it for the first time today. I did browse through it for a little bit just to see how the game is set up in terms of like the play materials, but in terms of the rules and all that, there's still a lot to learn. Jason says you should do a TTRPG, Veins of the Earth, to compare. Interesting. I haven't heard of that one. But let me go to, let me see. Yes. Let me go to Chrome to show off the creator right at the top before we get into this. Awesome. This is the itch page of, I believe, Michael Whelan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but this is Wheels RPGs. They've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different games in the past, and this was the one recommended to me by Cassie Mothwin, the author of Tangled Blessings, to whom I hold of a high acclaim because I played a whole lot of that game just a month or two ago. And these are their games. I asked for permission to feature this game, and they said yes, which is wonderful. They offered to give me the game for free, but I do try to make a point to purchase every game I cover because that only seems right. They're giving me content, and I'm getting a cool game out of it, so it only feels right. They would be here to... I invited them to speak on the episode 2, but they're from across the Atlantic Ocean. So right now it is 4:40 a.m. for them, which is brutal to ask anyone of. But if they're here, who knows? They said they'd try to be here, but I truly would rather them sleep. Anyway, let's read through just the premise of this game so we can get a little more acquainted with Lost Below the Earth. In the black beneath our feet there lies a prize. Its siren song calls to you in the small hours, and for the better part of your life you have resisted it. But the song is sweet, honey and milk on your tongue. Its allure stands the hairs on the nape of your neck. Here you stand now at the mouth of this great beast, the song still firmly in your head, the taste of it drying your throat. You know you must enter the maw of it, and it welcomes you like an old friend. You know you may not ever emerge from here again, but you also know you would die trying to reach what you seek. Lost Below the Earth is a rules-light, horror-drenched storytelling game for 1 or more players. Using only a deck of playing cards, you'll tell the story of a group of explorers, adventurers, or whatever the theme of your game demands, delving into a seemingly endless pit of spiraling caverns, unknowable sights, and abject terror. A deck of cards holds your fate. Using a standard deck of playing cards, you'll traverse the winding darkness in the original higher or lower minigame to determine your fate each turn. A test of luck and skill in equal measure. With each failure, the inky depths tightens the grip upon you, and short passages and simple climbs will twist and distort into seemingly endless, hellish journeys. Keep your wits about you, lest you lose yourself in the descent. Hope, heart, health, humanity, the pieces of you this place will try to take away. Let any dwindle too far, and your journey will come to a short and harrowing end. A dripping, dark, and menacing thing, a dark and foreboding RPG zine featuring cover art from Hex Novo and layout from Thorn Graphic Design, inspired by the outlandish, oozing, maximalist design of games like The Magus and Morkborg. Featuring over 100 prompts to guide your story, support for both solo and group play, optional rules for the faint of heart, and more. You can find it on itch. It is a beautiful looking game if you've seen these previews. If I could just page through this real quick so you guys get a quick preview of what this game looks like. Back to PDF. Every single page is a work of art. Every single one. It is so nice to look at, and in total this is only 40 pages. So you can get through this book real quick, but there's a lot of playtime, if you can see by all of these prompts that are available, depending on how far we get in. So let's start at the top and see what this game is all about. Okay, here we go. See, Michael Whelan. Yeah, we just read this. Perfect. Okay, here we go. To preface, Lost Below the Earth is a GM-less storytelling game for 1 or more players. in which your characters will discover a deep and cavernous network of tunnels, rooms or caves that stretch deep below the earth in a seemingly endless descent. You will delve deeper and deeper in search of some treasure, discovery, or answers in the dark. LBTE works in any setting, be it adventurers searching an ancient dungeon, scientists excavating a subterranean ruin, or astronauts discovering some gargantuan temple in a long-dead alien planet. No matter who or what your characters are, though, these things are always true. They have an obsessive need or desire to explore and delve deeper into the depths of this newfound place in search of something, and no matter what they find or experience, they will not, or cannot, turn back. Recording your journey. LBTE, Lost Below the Earth, can be played and recorded in a number of ways. You may want to write an entry in a journal after each round of the descent, or record an in-character audio log of your discoveries and roadblocks. Each section of your record could be a few lines to jog your memory, or a full-blown diary log in the voice of your character. If you're playing as a group, you may wish to simply tell the story together out loud without stopping to write everything down, but it's recommended that at least one person takes some quick notes to remind yourself of what you have encountered and experienced so far, so that you might expand on those segments of your story in later prompts. Regardless of how you want to record the journey, you will need one deck of playing cards to play, including the 2 jokers. We'll play a little bit of this on stream for people who stick around towards the end. It'll be solo play, and how it will be recorded is live, right here. Let's see, what is next? What makes us? Separate out all the face cards of the deck, jacks, queens, kings, and lay them out in piles of each suit. They should be ordered so that the jacks are on the top and the kings are on the bottom. These piles represent the pieces of you that this wretched place will drain away with its many trials, horrors, and tricks. Take the 2 jokers from the deck and place them face down and side by side on the table, leaving enough space to the right for more and more cards to be placed as the game continues. These face down cards, called the difficulty tracker, will represent the punishment of each journey deeper into the dark, and with each failure, safe passage will become harder and harder to achieve. Shuffle the rest of the cards, every suit from ace to 10, into a face down deck within easy reach of all players. This is called the descent deck. Interesting. Okay, so this is about as far. Oh, did I cut out? Did I cut out? I'm gonna wait on chat. Chat, let me know. If you can hear me, tell me your favorite number. Oh, cool. You're back. Great. Okay. So what I've done, basically, is that's as far as I've read, in terms of the book. So it's this general setup, right? This is what I'm looking at. All the face cards are separated out. Wait, you guys have favorite numbers? I was kidding. 12, 7... 73 is an interesting choice. Why specifically 73 unless it's like your birth year? 17? Cool. All good numbers. So this is what I've tried to set up in playing cards at IO. So when we play, we'll be able to do this. So as I understand it, let's see. So king, queen, jack. So it's like this. Right? Jack on top. And then what if I... Well, that doesn't really matter. So we'll put that there. And here, I believe we can do like... So this is difficulty tracker. Make that nice and big. Great. Something like that. I'll put that down here. Nope. A little closer. Like here-ish. There. That looks good. Actually, we can make that a little bit lower, maybe. Perfect. So difficulty tracker is down here. And then here's the deck with everything else. And I think that should be good. That looks like the proper setup. Jason says, taking bets if Wintry is going to die in this horror game like the last one. Well, I have to figure out what it takes to win or lose. I think that's the important part. This seems like a game that's hard to win. I don't think you're meant to win, but we'll see. The pieces of you. Oh my gosh. So this is what each suit represents. Clubs is hope. To lose this is to become lost to the darkness, convinced you will never find what you seek or see the light of day again. Hearts is obviously heart. To lose this is to become physically and mentally exhausted, drained of strength and clarity. Diamonds is humanity. To lose this is to lose your grip on the reality and morality. To become twisted and corrupted beyond recognition. Spades is health. To lose this is to physically bend, break in pursuit of what lies below. Oh, I'm not showing you. I'm so sorry. Chrome tab. Yeah. Okay, so clubs is hope. Hearts is heart. Diamonds is humanity. Spades is health. Okay. Now, why do we split it up like this? I need to know. Oh my gosh, this art is crazy. What is going on here? This is it's a crazy looking book. Next, agree on a theme or setting. It can be loose, but even a single lightning rod for all of you for your base answers, or will keep the story feeling consistent. Facing fantasy goblins 1 minute or sci-fi horror monsters the next is fine if you're trying to tell that story, but confusing if you're not. You can choose any setting or characters you like, but no matter the setting your players pick, you will be going deep below ground level in a dark and twisting complex that defies understanding. Your characters will be confused and scared by what they see, but they believe there is something at the bottom of the pit that makes the journey worth it. Now, take a moment and think about who your characters are and what you're trying to achieve by submerging themselves into the depths. What is their name in relation to the others in the group? What skeletons hide in their closets that the darkness could turn against them? What drives them to push on despite the horrors they'll witness? If you're playing solo, you'll be portraying the descent of just one explorer or a group told through one person's perspective. Will you focus on one character's thoughts as the others are lost in the dark, leaving your protagonist alone in the depths? I have an idea of the character I want for this. Or did it disconnect again? Okay. Cool. Yeah, so Great. Cool. I have an idea of the story I want to do for this, but I'll get to that once we're finished reading. But during our playthrough, I'll be asking higher, lower, and things like that. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Wow. What the heck? Your journey begins at the entrance of the depths. This will be the first entry in your story and set the tone for what is to come. What does it look like? How did you discover it? What do you think is down there? Take a moment to discuss what your characters are trying to find below. It could be knowledge, riches, a wish maker, safety from what lies above, anything of your choosing. If there are multiple characters in your group, they don't all have to be going down there for the same thing. One might be searching for some lost artifact that will significantly advance human understanding, while the others could be mere mercenaries hired for the excursion and hoping to find resources to haul back up to the world. Use this first entry in your log to describe your initial descent. How quickly do you lose the light of the sun? What does the interior of this place feel like, smell like, sound like? With the scene set, you are now ready to play. OBTE is played in a series of rounds in which you will draw cards from the descent deck, representing your journey into the darkness, and the paths you take and decisions you make along the way. To start a new round, draw the top card from your descent deck and place it above or below the first face-down card in your difficulty tracker. You will now be playing a game of higher or lower to determine the results of this exploration of the depths. To descend to the next discovery in your journey safely and without incident, you need to correctly guess if the next card you draw will be higher or lower in value than the previous one you drew, continuing this until you have drawn more cards than there are face-down ones in the difficulty tracker. So, I think you play one card, then you have to decide if the next one is higher or lower. And the goal is to exceed... Oh, here it is. Drawing a card of equal value counts as a correct guess, regardless of whether you've picked higher or lower. Aces are 1, jacks 11, queens 12, kings 13. But jacks, queens, and kings aren't in the deck yet. They're to the side. I'm assuming you're going to get these cards into your deck eventually. If you manage to lay out more cards in your difficulty tracker without an incorrect guess, you have momentarily avoided the horrors awaiting you in the dark and take respite after discovering something in the depths. Use the discovery tables beginning on page 20 to see what you find and answer the prompts it gives you. However, if you guess incorrectly at any point before you manage the above, stop drawing. You've become lost below the earth. There's the words. And will face some creature, traps, or worse in the darkness. Look at the suit of the card you just incorrectly guessed on, and then place it back into the descent deck along with the top face card from the pieces of you that match that suit. Oh, so here's how it plays out, right? Let me see if I can explain this real quick. So basically, I'm going to draw cards from this deck one at a time. And the goal is to place another card next to it and guess correctly if it's higher or lower. If I get it right, I keep going. And the goal is to get more cards than there are on this difficulty tracker. So if there's only 2 jokers here, I have to get 3 in a row correctly. And if I do, I get to do a discovery prompt. But if I mess up, then I have to do a prompt and add one of these face cards to the deck. I believe that's how it plays out. And basically, after every run, this difficulty tracker gets longer and longer, and it gets harder and harder to get all of them right. Interesting. Sure. Cool. I can do that. You have lost a piece of yourself down here. Look at the loss table and take a note of how your characters have changed as a result of what you've experienced. Next, look at the last card you successfully guessed on. If you failed the first card, and then use the darkness tables beginning on page 28 to see what it is you have faced or discovered on your journey. And take note of the prompt before placing the card down, face down at the end of your difficulty tracker. Oh, so you add the last card to your difficulty tracker, and your difficulty tracker gets longer. So if you manage to guess correctly enough times to exceed your difficulty tracker, then you pull a discovery prompt. But if you fail, then you pull a darkness prompt. And if you do a darkness prompt, then your difficulty tracker gets longer and you go further and further into the depths. Okay, interesting. Interesting. If you're playing, okay, this is a group stuff. Yeah, and if you're playing in a group, everybody takes the penalties at the same time, but in whatever way you'd prefer. By the way, I love when I highlight something that and the text becomes orange, but there's no like highlight. I think it's really cool. Combine the results from both the loss and darkness tables to answer the prompt. Sure. So you're linking what you've lost and the prompt to kind of have a cohesive theme. Once you finish the above, this phase of the descent is complete and it's time to move on, delving deeper and deeper into the black pits below. Collect all the cards you drew as part of this descent and that still remain and add them back to the descent deck. Leave the supply of face cards and difficulty tracker intact. You shouldn't touch these until instructed to after failing a guess. Shuffle the descent deck and then begin a new round. If you're playing in a group, you should pass the deck to the next player so they can be in charge of the next round. Cool. Also, these pages are crazy. Look at this. You're so nice. Yeah, like even the page numbers are so artistic. I really like the presentation of this one. Oh, snap. Yeah. Okay, let me fix that. They just said the links in the video description are incorrect. If you want to find the game, the best place to go is itch.io. I'll fix this post-stream after I'm done streaming. So it's going to be wheelsrpgs.itch.io. You can find this here. I'll actually drop it in chat because that just feels right. You could just do that. Da-da. And then want to find the creator. They are QWheelin on Twitter. So either of those links will take you to the creator and you'll be able to find the game from there. This is definitely a cool game to check out because I would have never found it if it's not recommended. A lot of the games I cover are recommendations from people I have previously worked with in terms of previous streams or games just recommended to me by the viewers like you guys. So if you guys have games I should check out to add to the list, I have an ever-growing list of games to check out. And I still have, if this is a game 17, I still have 82 more games. Oh my gosh, 82 more games to cover. Is that right? 99 minus 17? 82? Yeah, dang, 82 more games. So, I mean, I got room. I got room. Makes me think of Mork Borgen style decay book design. Yeah, it is so nice. So, it's so much energy. Okay. So basically, whether you succeed in your descent with discovery or you fail in your descent and enter darkness, you'll be given a prompt to handle, which will push the direction of your story. It says here, on pages 20 to 35 are tables of prompts that you will be drawing to further your story. Each will tell you an event has passed and ask you to fill in the details by asking you a question. These are called prompts, if you've been entering them as part of the setup already. If you come across a prompt that doesn't make sense with the story you're telling, feel free to twist it and change its wording to make it fit, but allow yourself time to think it over. Limitations breed creativity. When you're interpreting the prompts and the tables, think about the things that have happened to you or your group in the previous sections of your story. Try to build new prompts on top of things that have already happened. Oh, I'm not showing you the PDF. My bad. There it is. Expand the lore of the complex you're exploring and then build upon it in future turns. Remember the elements of your character that you created at the start. Twist the darkness into their own personal horror when answering the questions to come. If at any point you need to add one of the face cards from the supply to your deck, but no cards of that suit are left in the supply, then your journey has come to an end. Oh, that's the end of the game. And when you run out of face cards, describe the final moments of your descent and what fate becomes of you. What finally broke you? What would those who might discover you find? What were the final words or thoughts? The bottom of a bottomless pit. And that's the game, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's the game. So these are tips on, again, with horror games, trying to make sure that you don't pull on any personal traumas of your players or put them in any positions that they find uncomfortable. Again, a game is just a game. So you have to make sure that everybody at your table is enjoying it. Having a good time, I think, is the most important thing. And that this is a safe space to tell stories together. So these are tips on what to discuss before the game starts. Should you aim for a happy ending? Should you put... So it says here, if you want a happy ending, you can think of a number of descents that you'd like to succeed on in terms of reaching a goal. Otherwise, this is just a game that eventually, ultimately, inevitably leads to loss or madness. This is a game that, the way it's laid out, as I understand it, is almost guaranteed to be a tragedy. So if you'd like to have, so to speak, a win condition or a way to escape happily, then you can set the number of descents you do to a certain number. And if you reach the successful number of descents, then you will win. However difficult, that is a way for you to escape the tragedy of going ever deeper. So yeah. And obviously remember, you can always take a break, stop the game at any time. Take care of your people. Take care of your players. I'm reading chat. Let me see. Well, I got one for you. Veins of the Earth by Lamentation to the Flame Princess. Okay, cool. I'll write that down. Intromancer, is the video showing only the webpage? It's ringing on my phone. Yeah, sorry, I switched to Intromancer. I'm trying to show the... I think it's showing the game now. Okay. Well, I believe... Yeah, that's the game. We read through the entirety of the rule set in a little under half an hour. So that's how long it takes to start. Which is awesome, because sometimes books are very long. And if I want to play a game right away, or get into it right away, this is good. It's a strength of this game. So, I have a general idea of how to play this. I've not read any of the prompts, so that's going to surprise me. We already have a setup in Chrome to play this game. So all we have left to do is decide on who we're playing as. I did have an idea, but if anybody has an idea of what kind of character I should play for this, we could just roll with that instead, because I do want you guys to feel invested in the character that we have here and see and watch them descend into madness. So what we need to know is what my character is trying to achieve by going into the depths. What kind of cavern is this? Is this just to kill goblins? Is this to fight horrors and sci-fi settings? What's their name? We're only going to do one character here. We're not going to do a whole group. That might be too much. What skeletons hide in their closets? What dark secret do they have that the darkness could turn against them? And what drives them to push on despite the horrors they're witnessed? So they need a name, then they need a goal. They need a reason to be delving deeper and deeper into this cave. What are they looking for? What are they seeking? What led them here? Now, interestingly enough, in my personal headcanon of Wintry and Wiv, so to speak, they come from a labyrinth of caverns. They spent most of Wiv's young life, if I could just bounce to the starting screen to see what I'm talking about. These fellas, the young wyvern and the floating ice crystal. In my head, I've always imagined them as dungeon delvers, as people wandering the caves, learning things like that. And the 99 More series is them breaking free from the cave and exploring the greater world. Escaping from a world of only dragons and dungeons and learning what else is out there in the great expanse of the world, which is why every time they have new art, I try to put them outdoors. I try to put them in new scenarios and new landscapes, because in my own head, they came from the caverns. Now, do I want to subject them to a horror game of these deep dungeons? I don't know. I don't know if I do. It might be better to just play a normal person. and not have a sad story, an alternate timeline of a sad story where they never leave the dungeon. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out what character I want to play for this playthrough. The one true donut, is this the pre-show? Well, we're kind of we're about 35 minutes into the actual show. We're about to do a playthrough of Lost Below the Earth. We just read through the entirety of the rules of the PDF, and we're about to give it a whirl. And we have we have just about an hour to see how far we get. Let's see, what does chat say? I don't have my big screen for chat, so I'm kind of leaning into my other tinier screen to read you what you're typing. You were trying to rescue a friend that got lost down below. It's inspired by Darkest Dungeon. a pseudo Dead Space character that's looking for their friends that have been taken by something. We cannot torment Wiv by having him go down to spooky caves. That's true, Aquila. I had to play a normal person. Thank you, Greason. If you love it, let it face incomprehensible horror when wintry are too precious to lose. Okay, thank you, Aquila. I will not send Wintry and Wiv down to the depths of the dungeons to lose their minds. So let's lean into what Jason, was it Jason who suggested it? Yeah, what Jason was saying, that we are looking for a friend who disappeared into the caverns. I need a name for the main character of this, a solo explorer going into the dungeons who lost a dear friend into the depths. And what I need to start this character off is a name. They already have their motivation, find their friend. And what is their deep, dark secret or insecurity that will probably torment them on the way down? Sailing Master says, Wiv still needs to be sheltered from cyclopean horror. I don't know what cyclopean means, but I'm guessing it's some sort of horror. Okay, so I'm going to take a couple suggestions for the name. I'll take a couple suggestions for their fatal flaw, their weakness that will eventually crumple them as we go for this. As I wait the seconds it takes for me to I believe there's like a 15-20 second delay between stream, so usually I say something, then I just take a drink of water and wait for things to come in. It's Lovecraftian objective. Cool. No name suggestions? Sure. Let's see. Then we will call this character Cthulhu, they're scared of the dark? Sure. I mean, this is a really hard mission for them if they're scared of the dark. Let's see. Asher Winter is scared of small space. I like the name Asher. Let's go with that. Asher is the name of the character. Flaws. Scared of the dark. And what is that? What is the claustrophobia? Perfect. Okay, well, we'll go with that. And their motivation is to find their friend. Someone give me a name of the friend, and then I'll kind of chuck that in halfway through. Let's see. Okay. So Asher. Let's start here. Your journey begins at the entrance of the depths. What does it look like? How did you discover it? What do you think is down there? Sure. All right, let's do this. This is I'm gonna clap in. Clap. Did that work? Did you hear it? That's gonna be my marker for starting this playthrough. A very quick playthrough, brief playthrough of Lost Below the Earth. Our protagonist, Asher, starts at the opening of a large cavern. Terrifying. They're armed with not one, not two, but 3 lanterns. Not 2 of them are not yet lit because no need to have 3 lights on you, right? But they hold the lantern up to the massive opening and can only see so many feet ahead, barely 30 or 40 feet, and it terrifies them. But the last time their best friend, says Adam was seen, was at this very site. And Adam is much braver than Asher. Adam is someone who will leap into the great unknown without fear or delay, and Asher could never quite accompany him into these great endeavors, but now Asher's best friend needs him. Whether Asher's ready for it or not. So he goes. Asher takes a deep breath, calms himself, and steps into the darkness of the cave. Immediately, the scent of his surroundings change to something damp and wet. The echoes of his footsteps resound against the cavern walls. The first entry of the log described your initials. How quickly do you lose the sight of the sun? It takes all of 30 minutes, I'd say, to make enough turns in this darkness that the entrance of the cavern is no longer visible. All that remains is a skittering of the darkness and the light of the lantern. It shines what seems to be a stable path forward. The path that Asher believes Adam would have taken should he have journeyed here. Okay, and we'll do our first descent. So, I'll do this first one on my own, but in the future, if I'm feeling pressured, I'll need to call on you guys. So, I'm going to draw a card here. 7. Oh, terrible. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Okay. I have to guess if the next card... Let me just check. So you guys, yeah. I have to guess if the next card is higher or lower. I have to guess the next card higher or lower. Now the deck over here, the deck is only aces to 10s at the moment. So there's ace to 6 that's lower and 8 to 10 that's higher. So statistically, right? Statistically, this card should be lower, right? So I'm going to bet that this card is lower. And my goal is to get 3 cards in a row where I'm correct. So as long as this isn't 8 to 10, we're good. 3, 2, 1. No! No, no, no. Oh my. Okay. Okay. It's higher. It means I'm wrong, which means we lose something. I believe this goes here. Let me actually check the rules on this. Let me check the rules because something's already happened. Here. If you guess incorrectly at any point, stop drawing. You have become lost below the earth. Look at the suit of the card you just incorrectly guessed, and then place it back into the descent deck, along with the top face card from pieces of you that match that suit. Sure. Sure. Okay. So this 9 goes back into the deck. And then I add this jack into the deck because that's the same suit. This is diamond. And I believe I shuffle this. Shuffle. There you go. Okay. You have lost a piece of yourself down here. Look at the lost table on page 36. Look at the lost table on page 36 and take a note of how your characters have changed as a result of what you've experienced. 36. Oh, this is bad. Oh no, this is bad. Okay. We just did diamond, right? So here we just did this. You find yourself questioning your own actions. Thoughts that are not your own linger in the back of your mind. Brutal. Okay, great. That's done. And then questioning your own. I mean, that makes sense. And then next, look at the last card you successfully guessed on, or if you failed at the first hurdle, like me, the first card you drew. And then use the darkness tables beginning on page 28 to see what it is that you faced or discovered on your journey. And take note of the prompt before placing that card face down at the end of your difficulty tracker. Got it. 28. So we... 7 of hearts. Okay. 7 of Hearts darkness table. Okay, here it is. Right here. Up here. Oh, too far down. Tensions are dangerously high. What argument or inner turmoil erupts? Well, I mean, I'm second guessing myself, right? That sounds brutal. Okay, so tensions are dangerously high. What argument or inner turmoil erupts? Okay, well, this goes here. Asher immediately regrets his decision. Asher immediately regrets it. He's wandered far enough that he has already forgotten what direction to head into. And the darkness that surrounds him is terrifying. And for a brief moment, he says this is a bad idea. He turns around and realizes he doesn't know how to return. The rocks look the same. The rocks all look different heading backwards. And he grievously begins to question if he was ever competent enough to even handle a task like this. He's never gone spelunking. He's not the adventurous one. He's never had climbing gear before 2 hours ago. How does he seriously expect to rescue Adam? And if he even finds Adam, how will he even learn to save himself? Self-doubt begins to creep in. And Asher knows that if he were to start trying to head back to the exit now, he might just get lost somewhere unsalvageable. So in his heart of hearts, he resolves himself to keep going and traveling the path he believes Adam took. Because if there's anyone who knows how to get out of here, it's Adam. And at this point, Asher has lost his self-confidence in being able to escape this place without Adam. Let's keep going. Okay. There's no way I failed the next one, right? Wait. Did I shuffle? No, it's a different 7. It's a different 7. Okay, here we go. Yes. So again, for people just joining us, I need to guess if the next number is higher or lower. And my heart says lower. It's gotta be, statistically, it's gotta be lower. This is a 7, right? This is a 7, but we just added the jack. We just added the jack of diamonds into this deck. So I'm gonna guess lower because that makes sense to me. And my goal is to get 4 cards in a row now because this has gotten harder since I failed this first one. Okay, it's got to be lower. The odds can't be against me twice. Okay, 3, 2, 1, lower. Okay, good, fantastic. Now it's a 3, so this one's definitely higher. The only thing lower than the 3 is 2 and ace, and rolling a 3 is a success no matter what. So I have all the numbers that are not ace and 2 to be correct on this. This is definitely higher. There's no way this is lower than 3. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. 7. Okay. We're back at 7. Okay. Now we're going to continue with logic here, right? The odds of it being higher. There's 4 8s, 4 9s, 4 10s, and a jack in the deck. That's 13 cards. And there's 36 cards here that are a win. So 13 minus 36, 23 of these 36 cards, a win for me. 13 out of 36, a loss for me. And as long as I get this right, we love our 7s. Yeah, there's 3 7s on the board right now. Okay, it's got to be lower. Come on, let this be a win. This might be my last one of the night, so let this be a win. Anything but 8, 9, or 10. 3, 2, 1. No! No. No! Why? There's no way. What are the odds of that? The odds are like, oh my gosh, the odds are like 60% the other direction. Okay. As per the rules, the 9 goes back in. And now I add the Jack of Hearts into the deck. Brutal. And the 7 of Spades goes here, next to the 7 of Hearts. Okay, so now I gotta look for the prompt that's the 7 of Spades Darkness. This goes back, and we shuffle. Okay, 7 of Spades, what's the prompt? There's no way I did that. What are the odds? Spades of Darkness. Spades of Darkness. Here, Spades Darkness. 7. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. You smell... Can you guys see this? Yes, you can. You smell something vile, but cannot bring yourself to find the source. What do you fear might be causing it? Terrifying. And then I believe I need a heart prompt to add to this. You smell something vile but cannot bring yourself to find the source. What do you fear might be causing it? And the Jack of Hearts that I just added to the deck says, your journey has taken a toll on your body. You are littered with cuts and bruises, though the damage is mostly superficial. Great. Okay. Asher's getting bruised up. He's just an ordinary dude. He's not good at this spelunking thing. And he's already got a couple of cuts on his shins, harsh climbs that he's recently had to do. Climbing kit helps, but he doesn't know how to hook things up, and he's already banged himself up against a wall or two. It says and as he begins to descend down a steep cliff, he lands on the lower rock surface, and he finds himself or hears a squish under his foot. It softens the landing, but not in a pleasant way. And immediately as his foot sinks lower and lower into this weird gelatinous mass, he can smell a pungent odor pervading around him, and it's terrible and rotting and bad. And immediately his mind thinks that something else has descended down this cliff, but much more rapidly, and died at the bottom. He can feel a little bit of crunch beneath his feet, probably some sort of bone. And everything in him is telling him not to look down to see what sort of carcass his feet have landed into. He holds his breath, puts a hand to his nose, and walks forward. Crunch, crunch, squish, crunch. This is not the only body down here. He continues to step forward, and his feet are covered in whatever gooey mass he's landed himself in, until he finally finds some solid ground that doesn't lead to any sort of extra sounds. His feet stick to the surface of the stone because it's attached to something gross, and that's what he's walking away from. Hopefully continuing forward. He's got to find some water, something to wash his shoes off, his boots, of whatever he just stepped in, whatever died here weeks or months before. He needs to be rid of it. And as he continues further into the depths, the smell follows him, for it can't be washed off. Let's continue. All right, we found ourselves in a terrible situation, gang. This stack is 4 cards long, and I have to get 5 in a row. Did I shuffle already? I'll shuffle one more time. I have to get 5 in a row to get anything positive. Okay, let's go. 5. Oh, that's hard. Okay, ace to 4 is a lot. Ace to 4 is... I feel like there's a lot of numbers higher than this. So 5 is good. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 2 jacks. Definitely higher. It's got to be higher. I'm not gonna even ask for an opinion on this one. It's got to be higher. Easy. 8. Okay, 8. We've had bad luck with 7s, but 8s are better. The only thing higher than 8s are 9s, 10s, and 2 jacks. That's 10 cards out of 38. 28 cards are good, 10 cards are bad. This one's definitely lower. What? Okay. Every time I've guessed lower, the number's higher. And this is hard. This is not good. This is a queen. Again, if you guys are listening, the game ends when I can no longer draw from these piles. When I have all the face cards in the deck, that's when the game ends. So 10 goes back in. Queen is now in the deck. And 8 is what I'm pulling from. Okay. Let's see what befalls me. I need to know my consequence first. Guys, this is hopeless. This is hopeless. Jason says, go high. Thank you for telling me 10 seconds too late. We're delayed. I make decisions before you guys can even comment on it. Okay, let's see. What Heart Queen. You have suffered on many minor injury. You have suffered so many minor injuries now that you cannot find a part of you that remains unscathed. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. To crawl feels like dragging your body over a bed of broken glass. No, that's really bad. The boy is so injured. And what am I drawing? Oh, you guys couldn't see that. Let me just show you. And I'm drawing. This is an 8 of clubs. So let me find 8 darkness. I'm not gonna hit a single discovery question here. There won't be a single happy moment in this entire thing. You come across an enormous structure that stretches off into the darkness. What does it look like, and what oppressive atmosphere does it evoke? Okay. In a desperate search for water, Asher begins to listen for sounds that sound like a flowing river. The smell is becoming too difficult to bear, and he hates his own odor as the scent of whatever he stepped in begins to cling to him. As he delves deeper and deeper into the cavern, he finds himself wiping his boots on everything he passes through. Any rock or rubble or any sort of rough surface, he scrubs his shoes against. And as the smell begins to cling to his body, he feels like he has to scrub that off as well. He sees a rough wall and then scratches his arm against it. As it clings to his hair, he tries to wash out the smell with whatever he finds on the stalactites above. He rips it off and wipes it in. The smell is different. It's not good, but it's different. It's not what he stepped in. But any smell is better than whatever smells attached to his boots. And it brings him to a point that he can no longer bear the scent. He takes off the boots and leaves them behind, leaving a great portion of that terrible odor behind him. But that, of course, has its own consequence. He begins to scratch his feet on the surface. There are no kind stone surfaces here. There is no smooth floor. Everything is rough. Everything is difficult. It's not all pebbles and and stonework. It's brush. It's mold. It's terrible things. Perhaps homes and hives of creatures that were once here. And he hurts himself getting through it. Paths that feel like thorns against his skin, he presses on forward. Adam could brave this, so he should. Adam would go here, so he will. There are points in times when the space becomes so small that he feels terrified to enter, but even still he does. Knowing nothing but what lies ahead of him, hoping desperately that it is better than whatever he's passed through already. He squeezes into a small tunnel, crawling through, doing his best to make it to whatever lies ahead, and he can feel the walls pressing against his skin, scratching every surface of his body until everything bleeds. Everything is colored red,
under the light of his lantern. And finally, he breaks forth into an opening and sees a large cavernous space ahead of him. He hears the rush of water, something wonderful, and he hurries towards it, not worrying about every painful step that it takes to get there. Whether he crawls on his hands to move forward, Asher does. And finally, he finds a body of water and slips right into it. The water is ferrous in taste. It's so dark that he doesn't know if this water is clean or dirty, but it doesn't matter. He washes himself. And as he finally emerges from the surface of this water to take in his surroundings, take his first deep breath of unclogged, unodorous air, he looks ahead and sees a massive statue ahead of him. A monument 30, 40 feet tall of a person, arms outstretched, a robe that covers the top of their head and flows down their body. This seems elaborate and intentional. Someone built this. Someone lived in this small pond or lake or whatever this might be and constructed this. How? Who knows? It might be the work of many people. One person would take years, maybe decades to build this. And for a moment, he loses himself in that wonder and that mystery of the moment. But as he peers towards it, he feels very small. And now that he's allowed his mind to wander, he's reminded of how tiny and insignificant he is in the endless expanse of this cavern. As he's gone deeper and deeper below, there are paths he's taken that he cannot pass back through. But surely, when he finds Adam knows the way out. He looks to the statue almost in reverence, as a testament to how far he's gotten. And continues onward. The water is just shallow enough that he can wade through. The water just reaching to his waist. Whenever he feels it dip too deep, he paddles for a bit and finds purchase on land once more. The sounds of water tumbling from the rooftops, from the cliff sides, fill his ears, a cacophony of sound that drowns out his other thoughts. For once, it is peaceful for him. He leaves the stench behind and finds himself, in this moment, a different person. Let's keep going. Might have to speed up on these. It's slow. Descend faster into madness. Okay. Let's see. I realize I can't really rely on chat for this because it takes too long to hear your responses. I just kind of gotta book it. So this is 778. A lot of high numbers are gone, but we've added 3 high numbers in response. Okay. Roll it. 5. Higher. Queen. Lower. Easy lower. Thank you, Queen. Oh, I'm sorry. You guys aren't even watching this. There you go. It's got to be lower than Queen. Nothing's higher than Queen. Easy. 10. Perfect. Lower. It's got to be lower. The only thing higher than this is Jack. There's no way this is a Jack. 6. Perfect. Okay. 6 is hard because it's ace to 5 as lower and then 7 to 10 plus Jack as higher. So this is as close to a 50-50 as it gets. Now, guys, let's be real here. Every time I've said it's going to be lower, besides this obvious Queen and 10, it was higher. So this time, definitely, it's going to be higher, right? It's only right. It's only fair, right? It's only fair that this is higher because all of these 3 I've gotten wrong because it's been higher. So this has got to be higher. Come on. Easy, Jack. Is this going to be our first success? There's no way to fail. This is lower. We did it. We did it, guys. We did it. We made it to a discovery.
Beautiful. Ace is the lowest it gets.
I was gonna say ace might be higher, but no. Perfect. We did it, guys. We pulled through and got a discovery. Beautiful. We can finally showcase a part of the game that I haven't got to. So let's do this. Ace, this Diamond's discovery table. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, we did it. Okay. Ace discovery. You find some religious bauble. Despite its appearance, why does it bring you comfort? Cool. Let's do it. Drawn to the large statue in the middle of this cavernous lake, Asher finds respite at the foot of it. In the center of this lake, the statue stands tall, almost as if watching over its domain. And as Asher crawls up to its feet, he sees a couple of trinkets tucked between the toes of the statue that make for a nice resting point. He sees a bunch of tools used for masonry. And he sees a small necklace bearing the mark of a diamond. Something of value, perhaps. A relic. Adam would love something like this. A token of history of whatever this might be. Immediately, Asher hangs the necklace with the pendant of a diamond around his neck. This will make a great gift for when he does find Adam. And Asher very briefly considers just staying at the statue for a long time. It might be nice to just be here. The water relaxing. He's got to light a new lantern though. The other one got drenched in the one he just used. So he stays here, finds some sleep, sleeps at the foot of this large statue, and after some indiscriminate amount of time passes, he decides to continue forward. A victory. Perhaps he can do this. Asher continues. Alright guys, I don't know what happens when we win. Let's find what happens when we actually get a proper discovery. If you manage to lay out more cards in your difficulty tracker without an incorrect guess, you have momentarily avoided the horrors awaiting you in the dark and take respite after discovering something in the depths. Use the discovery tables beginning on page 20 to see what you find and answer the prompts it gives you. Beautiful. Great. We did it. That's so good. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, we just start over. We did it. Amazing. That's so good. Okay, so we never do that. Okay. I'm gonna say, because we do have to end the stream eventually, I'm gonna say if we ever pull a king card, that's when we end the game. We've already pulled the jack and queen of the hearts. So if we pull a king of hearts, it's over. But we have all these other jacks and queens before that. So let's do that. Okay, these all go back into the deck. Wonderful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you know what? If we manage to succeed on if we get 3 discoveries, we just got 1. If we get 3 discoveries, we'll consider it a win. We find Adam and we escape. That'd be great, wouldn't it? All right, let's do this. 10, lower. 9, lower. 4, higher. 5, ooh, it's got to be higher. We always go higher here. Higher. 10, lower? What loses? What loses? Jack, jack, queen. Okay. 3 out of 30, 3 out of 34, 3 out of 35 cards are a loss here. everything else is a win. This has got to be lower. Amazing. Odds actually turned out well for us. We did it. That's 2 successes. Guys, that's 2 successes. That's incredible. We couldn't do 3, but we just did 6. Okay. 6 of spades discovery. Amazing. Wins all around. We're doing great, guys. We're actually doing great. That's crazy. Let me go spades discovery. 6 of spades. Yeah, let's do that. Wow. Good work, team. 6 of spades. Since some time ago, you've noticed an affliction inside of you. Why are you hiding it from the others or yourself? Huh. As Asher continues onwards. Since he's left his boots behind, and since finding rest and clarity, he's starting to regret. He's starting to regret leaving his shoes behind. That seems like a terrible idea in retrospect. And as he presses on, he feels the pain more and more of something in his foot. It doesn't feel like a specific sharp sort of pain, but rather something is in a terrible way pulsing. A terrible way pulsing. There's like a weird sort of thing happening in his blood that passes through his feet. And it's not a pleasant feeling, and it certainly makes him limp. It's his right foot. As he steps forward farther and farther into these caves, not really sure of his direction anymore. But to dwell on that idea would be to admit defeat, you know? Adam wouldn't quit here. Adam would continue forward. He's already discovered a relic. He's already discovered a monument. There's a lot that Asher has done here to be proud of. So he could press on a little bit further. You know, next time he finds a good place to rest, he'll check up on this spot. He'll check up on his injury. But right now, no need to stress about it. Why dwell on those thoughts? And he continues onward. Guys, just for the record, if we pull this off one more time, we win this game. Not technically. Technically, you can't win this game, but we've set the arbitrary rule thanks to time restraints that if we get 3 successes, then we manage to find exactly what we're looking for. So all we have to do here is get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. We have to get five correct guesses in a row, and we've won. You ready for this? First is 9. It's got to be lower. This is hard. Oh my gosh. We always go high in these situations. Ready? It's higher. Wait, that's the heart. No. Wait. Okay, it could have been any suit. Could have been any suit except the one that ends this game. Oh my gosh. We just said that if we pull the king, game's over. Okay, well, it's time to read about how we die. Sure. That was, this hope was, it was right there. It was right. It could have been any other suit too, but it had to be the king. Okay. Again, normally if you play this game, you can pull the king, do the prompt, and then if you can't pull any more, then the game's over. We're just shortening it for the stream. So we find the king, we do the king consequence, then we do the 6 of spades darkness, and find out how. All right, guys. Thanks for the journey. Let's read how this ends. First 6 of spades darkness. Let's find out what our prompt is. Spades 6 darkness. Faced with no other option. No! No, 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 no. No. What a terrible way to go out. I'm sorry. Michael Whelan. This is a terrible way to... How could you... Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta show you guys. That's no good. That's no good. Okay, well, we gotta do the prompt. We gotta end the stream. This is how it ends, guys. This is how it ends. Faced with no other option, you drop into a hole to progress. What awaits you at the bottom? Okay. Okay, that is a terrible prompt to end on. That's brutal. Faced with no other option, you drop into a hole to progress. What awaits you at the bottom? All right. Well, King punishment, King of Hearts. You curse whatever infernal intervention keeps you standing. Every fiber of your broken body screams at you for death. The slightest blow seems to open new wounds in your flesh. You have bled more blood than any human should hold. That's terrifying. It's terrifying. Okay, so that's how we die. That's it. Okay, let's for the people in chat still watching this is a brutal run. We just pulled the last card to end the run, so to speak. And the prompt is you fall into a hole, what awaits you at the bottom. And the punishment is you have bled more blood than any human should hold. Okay, let's end this. Asher. Fighting every urge to lie down and die. Continues ever forward. And the path he walked for hours and hours and hours, the only path that Adam would ever take, is forward. It's forward. And it leads you to a point where there are no other paths, and below is a dark expanse. A dark expanse. Downwards. Ever downwards. You've been heading downwards this entire journey, only downwards on cliff sides, downwards in waterways, in sloping tunnels and steady inclines, only ever downwards, and this is the sharpest drop so far. Your Asher's climbing equipment ripped and tore and broke hours ago. It's a steep drop, and you could use your hands. You've climbed cliffs down before during this journey. Asher holds his breath and looks down, and at the bottom, at the very bottom, there's a small glint, a little bit of movement. He lights a lantern. He lights a lantern, and the candle flickers in the light, just barely enough to light the way, and he drops the lantern. And the lantern falls and falls and falls even farther. At the bottom, just before the lantern clatters and snuffs out, he sees the glint of two eyes looking back at him. Who else could it be? Except Adam. Excited, Asher clambers towards the edge of the pit, grabs on best he can, holds onto the edge, and prepares for the climb downwards. Thank you, old Katyathun. Thank you for that. Let me finish the story and I'll read off what you wrote. He grabs onto the edge of the cliffside, arms tattered and torn, bloodied and bruised. His skin is more red, stained with blood than it is his normal skin pigment. Adam waits for him down there. And by golly, them two together, they can escape this place. He takes his first step downwards, puts his weight onto his left arm, immediately falters, and tumbles. And his body leaves any sort of grasp from the stone cliffside and holds itself in the air for just a fraction of a moment before plummeting ever downwards. Faster. Faster, 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 faster. The stone cliffside whizzes past him. There is no light, there is no sound except the roaring of air past him. He turns his body to peer downwards, to see a glimpse of Adam before whatever the floor meets him with. He has to see his friend one last time. And right before he hits the ground, he sees those two glints once more, the eyes he saw from ever far upwards. And he sees what has to be his friend. Has to be. In that split second, Asher ignores the yellow tint of the eyes, the dark bristles of fur, the large rows and rows and rows of teeth that hang open, waiting for the next meal to fall within. All of that is just a figment of imagination. It's a fraction of the madness he's experienced here. He sees a friend. His friend. And finally, they're reunited. Snap. The jaws upon jaws upon jaws close. And Asher disappears into the darkest dark this cavern has ever met him with. And that's the end of the story. That's it. That's Lost Below the Earth. Wait, I gotta read like Cthulhu read. You said.
I did bet 14 souls and $10 AUD Australian dollars. So because of the depressing death of poor Asher here,
you did win.
Congrats on your victory. Congrats. This is Lost Below the Earth. Obviously, there are many other paths this story could take you. There are different consequences. I died through the heart route, but there's also the spades route, there's the clovers route, and there's the diamond route. You could play this with not just one person, but multiple people. It doesn't have to be a solo journey, and it doesn't have to be this quick. I imagine this game is really fun when there's multiple people sinking into madness, when there's a more fleshed out story or connection between the people playing, and the group dynamics of making the hard decisions here. Asher was a poor soul all alone, desperately looking for his friend. And yeah, that's terrifying. When this game was recommended to me by Cassie Mothwin, she said that she played it with one other person, and a 2-player game sounds like it would be wonderful. So if you want to pick this up, again, this can be found. This is the Twitter page of the author, and let me put the itch.io page in chat as well. But for all of you watching, thanks again for tuning in. This is game 17 of 99 more TTRPGs as we continue to learn more and more games, as I continue to lose more and more games, as some of you are keeping track of my win-loss record in these scenarios, having died multiple times at this point. I look forward to what game 18 would be. I haven't chosen it yet, but if you guys have recommendations, I'm all ears. Thank you guys again, and have a wonderful night.